going to keep getting better in every single area. I know how great of a campus Stratford is, but I also know we can go higher. And it's going to take everyone buying in and believing it.
Awesome.
Okay. Hi, I'm Millie Stevenson. I'm one of the news directors of SHTV, and we're here with Mr. Barnes, our newly named principal, and we just wanted to ask a few questions to get to know him.
But thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here with you all.
I'm glad to have you. You already told us that you were from Biloxi, Mississippi, which I think is interesting. My mom's from Natchez. But
okay.
I want to know a little bit about your backstory, like where are you from and what's your family like?
Okay, so I'm the youngest of four. My family is originally from Biloxi, Mississippi, and my mom taught high school English for 38 years.
Oh, wow.
And so as a child, if I spoke incorrectly, she would always correct us, but then she would make you say it correctly. So I'm the youngest, and I grew up and I played 4 sports, but I excelled at 3, track, football, and baseball. And when I was a senior, I had offers, and my top 3 scholarship offers were Stanford, Rice, and Tulane. But I chose Rice. I had the opportunity to do football and baseball there. I graduated in 4 years, but I still had another year because I redshirted of eligibility. And so I got my undergrad, my bachelor's in arts in English, but then I started my master's in the arts of teaching. So I left Rice with 2 degrees, and I didn't have to pay for any one of them. I became a teacher in Pearland ISD, and I taught 8th grade English for 2 years. And then we opened up Glenda Dawson High School in 2007. And so I taught freshman English, junior English, and I taught senior English twice. And then I coached football and track. And then after I did that for 4 years, I came over to Northbrook High School as an assistant principal there for 4.5 years. And then I left Northbrook High School after 4.5 years and went to central office, 955 Campbell. And I worked centrally for 1.5 years. And then I left there and I stopped by Stratford for about 4 or 5 weeks as the interim principal. Then I went to Spring Forest as the permanent principal. And now I'm back here 3 years later as the permanent principal. So I'm happy to be with you all. It's been a big dream of mine, something I've wanted to do for a long time, and to have the opportunity to serve you and work with you every day is something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so this question was submitted by a student on our Instagram, and you might not know the answer, but they were wondering, do you have any idea who will be taking over at Spring Forest next year?
At this point, I do not, but I do know they are interviewing. So it shouldn't be too much longer before the new principal is announced. And I am very interested in that because my 2 children are still students at Spring Forest. So I'm anxious to know who's going to be taking over to be the principal for my children.
At the time you spent around the Stratford community, what are some of your favorite things about Stratford as a school, and what are some things you're looking to change as you come in as a principal?
Well, some of the things I like is it doesn't take long for you to realize that who we are. We're Stratford, America, and we take pride in that. And that's something that has been a part of the Stratford community for a long time. One of the things that I notice is that not every student knows what that Stratford America feeling feels like. And so I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I know that there was a point in time when I was at Northbrook High School. I remember, Stratford was, man, everyone had pride. It was like, man, our school is the best. And, of course, at the time at Northbrook, I was like, we're going to show you all. We're Northbrook. We're going to catch up. But now I'm over here. I'm like, yes, we want that Stratford America feeling. We want it, to not just be at the high school. We want our kids in middle school. We want our kids in elementary school to come to and support our activities and can't wait to be a Spartan. So that right there is something that our community likes and longs for and we want to have. And it's just not for our current students. There are a lot of alumni who want to come back, who come back all the time. So we want to make sure that our doors are open and we welcome them to come back and be a part of the Stratford community, because they are a part of the Stratford community. Just because you graduate doesn't mean that you should lose touch with who we are and with our campus. So as far as changing things, I think it's not smart for any leader to come in somewhere and say, hey, I just want to change this or change that. So I think you need to take time to kind of look back and see and get feedback. Talk to students, talk to teachers, talk to parents. Obviously, if there's something that jeopardizes the safety of the campus, then those are things that move to the top of the list that we need to change sooner. But even then, when you make those changes, you still involve students, you still involve parents, you still involve teachers, so that we're making the changes for the right reason. If we make changes just because I say make the change, then there's no buy-in. So I need buy-in from the students. I need buy-in from the parents. I need buy-in from the community.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you taking our views into account. So what are your favorite traditions that Stratford has, and what traditions would you maybe be looking to kind of introduce in the coming school years?
Well, I can answer both of that in one piece. We've already talked about making our pep rallies better. Okay, where we're packing the house with students, and they're pep rallies where we're pumping the crowd up. Okay, so we want to get that piece back where kids are like, I can't wait to go to the pep rally. So we've had conversations with Miss Jones, who's our cheer sponsor. She's an official cheer sponsor now, so congratulations to her. She's going from assistant to the head spot. So we're excited about that. I've talked with our department chairs, and they want to make our pep rallies more exciting. And so we threw out ideas. Do we invite in, a couple of radio stations to come in and help, publicize the pep rally and pump it up? Do we continue to have spirit days and spirit nights and have competitions between each class, who can be the loudest, whether it's freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors. We've also talked about Miss Jackson. She still has some of the pennants that we used to have, the ribbons a long time ago that you would hand out. We're talking about bringing those back and giving those out on Fridays to the students at the middle school and elementary school, like wear this and come into the games, whether it's volleyball, basketball, football, or whatever. So that tradition of it not just being Stratford High School, but Stratford High School is the beacon in the community. That's what we want. So anything we've done in the past, whether it's the big day, like that, I was there supporting all the students who came out and volunteered. I already talked about next year how we can, besides just serving breakfast, even if I have to volunteer and cook hamburgers and hot dogs and have something for the kids to eat when they come back after volunteering. So those are things that we already do, but we want to make it bigger. We want to make it better so that more students are participating and we're giving back to the community.
Well, on a more on-campus note, I know that a lot of people felt that the block lunch this year was beneficial to like their workload and even like the time they got to spend with friends. And I also felt that it was like a break in like a really busy time of my high school career. And I know that you have your own opinions about that. So I just wanted to know if you could voice those for us and just what that would look like next year.
There are a lot of pieces behind the block lunch that really need to be stepped up and cleaned up. No pun intended, because our school was pretty dirty after the block lunch because we were eating all over the building. But the first and foremost, there's a safety aspect. And it wasn't just my opinions. We brought in the director of safety and security for the entire district, had him do an audit and look at our lunches, look at our exits and our entrances, and just walked around on multiple occasions. And he provided 2 pages worth of feedback. And so honestly, right now, we're not safe and secure as a campus. There were instances where outside visitors could just walk in and had access to students. They had access to the interior of the campus because we didn't have it buttoned up. So that's first and foremost. How do we secure that? The second piece is I got information from our buildings and grounds about the cost of trash bags. It goes up tremendously per month because we're using multiple trash cans. The other piece is our staffing for it. We don't have enough custodians to clean all the campus every day during that hour. The other part that I don't think students and parents understand, but I've got a lot of feedback from the staff, it's taxing on the teachers to supervise that lunch period because it takes so many to spread out across the campus, and we weren't effective because there were students that could leave campus or enter campus without permission through back hallways and back doors. And so it's not that I just think it's a bad idea, because it's great for kids. You have a chance for, if you can't come in the morning or if you can't go in the afternoon, you can go visit that teacher in the middle of the day, or if you had to work or play sports. I had theater rehearsal, choir rehearsal, band rehearsal, whatever it may be, you had that time built in. So I think there has to be a way that we can come together and figure out how we can restructure that time so that students still have a chance to get help, to get tutoring, and to do homework or whatnot during the day, but do it in a structured manner that we're not taxing the staff to try to secure the campus, whether it's cleaning or supervising, that causes them to feel a lot of anxiety and stress. So I've heard from the students, they really appreciate the time, and we are going to find a way to give students time back in the day where they can work, but it just has to be in a better and structured manner.
That's wonderful. Right. I absolutely love that. So as a former cheerleader, I'm personally concerned about supporting all of our teams, and you've kind of said this already, but how do you plan on increasing school spirit at Stratford?
Well, I think again, when we're talking about the pep rallies, as a football player, I know football players, we love pep rallies, but as a principal, I'm principal of all students. And so any chance we get to recognize any sport, any club, any organization in a pep rally, that's how you get buy-in. We want every student to feel that they can connect. And so maybe we look at promoting and finding ways to not just highlight the sports, but we highlight different organizations and build that into whether it's a pep rally or a spirit day or whatever else it is. So I'm all about highlighting everything that our students do. It takes listening to you, Chris, and listening to you, Millie, and get ideas from your perspective. So that's something we want to do, highlighting every kid, highlighting all organizations, so that no student or no group feels like they're left behind.
Well, I know if there's anything we've enjoyed in the broadcast program this year, it's highlighting students and their achievements and just stories around the school. And today you've made your passion for Stratford really apparent, and it's awesome to see and hear. And we just want to hear about how excited you are to be moving from the middle school principal right down the street to finally getting to take over Stratford. Not take over, but you know what I mean. Just we want to hear about how you're feeling about that.
It's bittersweet, honestly, because I tell you, I was fortunate and blessed to have the opportunity to work at Spring Forest. It's and I like to say serve, because being a principal, so many times you think you're the leader, it's all about you. Being a leader means you got to be the first servant to everyone else. So it's about having the attitude of servant leadership. How can I help? How can I assist? I'm the last one to eat. I'm the last one for whatever. I want my staff, I want my students to be served first. And so now that we're here, and I'm at the high school, it's still looking and listening and still learning the intricacies that make Stratford who they are. I do know this, no matter who you are, whenever you come and work at Stratford, whether you're the principal, the custodian, the bookkeeper, the child nutrition services, we want everybody to believe that there's not a better campus in this city, in this district, in this country than Stratford High School. And we're going to keep getting better in every single area. I know how great of a campus Stratford is, but I also know we can go higher. And it's going to take everyone buying in and believing that. We're making good strides, but we're not where we want to be, and we never want to get complacent. And so as we're recruiting new teachers and new coaches to join our campus, the first thing I ask them is, what do you know about Stratford High School? If you just look at Stratford as just another job, I don't want you there. I want you to say, hey, I know this about Stratford. You've done your homework. You know how important it is in the community. You know what our mascot is. You looked us up on the internet. You would say, hey, our theater program had the best musical. We won 5 Tiny Toon Awards last night. That means you have paid attention to what's going on with our kids. And so as the principal, anytime someone gets recognition, we want to support that. We had another student drafted in the first round last week of the NFL draft. That graduated in 2016, Jordan Brooks. So you know what? We tweeted out. There's an article coming out about him being at Spring Forest and being at Stratford. So we had Andrew Luck get drafted first overall. Now we got someone picked 27th overall in the first round. We celebrate that. And if we have any other students that get drafted in the WNBA, playing golf or tennis or anything else, whether they got drafted or not, we want to recognize anyone who's doing well. That's why I love the article in the Oracle about the graduate that's working in Austin right now, fighting COVID-19 in the pediatric emergency room. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be in band. You don't have to be in theater. But if you're a part of Stratford America and you're doing great things in the community, we want to celebrate you and get behind you.
That's awesome. Okay, so for our last question, we just wanted to have you give some insight and your thoughts on our rivalry with that other school.
Well, you know what? Their principal graduated from Stratford High School too.
Mm-hmm.
So as great as they are, it still starts with Stratford.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here and having a conversation with us. We really appreciate it. And Chris, if you want to introduce the next segment.
Yeah, I think I speak on behalf of the entire Stratford community when I say we're really glad to have you as a part of our team.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to be here. I bleed green and white, so just can't wait to have y'all back on campus.
All right, let's go to Ryan and Emma with the lightning round.
Hey guys, it's Emma and Ryan, and today we have a special guest.
All right.
Sounds good.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
What's your zodiac sign?
It was Sagittarius, Tarius, however depending on where you're from. But then they came up with these new signs or whatever. So I'm going to stick to what I was originally. So it's a Sagittarius. So whatever this new one is, I don't accept that. I'm going to stick with mine.
Favorite movie?
Independence Day, the first one.
The Office or Parks and Rec?
The Office.
Yeah.
If you were a principal, what would you be?
I would want to be a locomotive engineer. I'd love to drive a train.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
If you spend too much time looking at the past, you will lose sight of your future.
That's good.
Favorite holiday?
Say that again?
Favorite holiday?
Christmas. I listen to Christmas music year round.
Pancakes or waffles?
I'm a waffle person, Waffle House. I grew up in the Southeast, so I love waffles.
Books or movies?
I'm split, but for the sake of time, movies.
What's your favorite place to travel?
For me, it's back home to Biloxi, Mississippi.
Aww. Dream car?
I would say, unrealistically, a Ferrari, but realistically, an F-250 6.7 power stroke diesel, limited edition, fully loaded.
Wow.
What was your first broken bone?
I've never broken a bone.
Favorite childhood TV show?
The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The Texans or the Astros?
Well, because we just got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to say the Astros.
Who would you want to play you in your movie biography?
I don't think anyone is good enough. Or enough. You know, I would probably have to say Denzel Washington because he's like, no matter what role he plays, he's always smooth.
Baskin Robbins or Marble Slab?
Marble Slab.
Okay, well, thank you so much for playing with us. That was awesome.
Thank
good.
you.
I'll be prepared next time.
Thank you so much to everyone who sent in answers to our Instagram page. And if you'd like to see some of your answers possibly on another video, please follow us at SHTV News.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this edition of Stay Home Stratford. It was really fun to have you, Emma and Ryan, and thank you so much for Mr. Barnes for doing this with us.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram at SHTV News. See y'all next time.